Righto, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to On Loose Lines, back for another week. And I do have Mark Barton with me. He is just doing something, so I won't interrupt him for a sec. I'll just go through a little bit of what's on tonight's show. We're going to have Bardo in a minute discussing Bendigo and the great week that it was. Last Friday night, great lot of racing. It was terrific to see so many people on track and so much fun being had by plenty of people. So we'll discuss on that, plus sales close on August 31. So we've got that to cover off on. Got 3 or 4 interviews with the drivers, World Drivers Championships, to promote those and showcase what's going on there. And also a bit later on, I want to get a bit of a discussion point, if you like, around the Matildas and the colours with the 1200 metre racing and the Matildas tonight. I think it's a pretty good idea. 2 sets of colours. Well done to Highland Sportswear for getting behind this idea and getting it off the ground as quickly as what they did. Really think it's a great idea, and well done to everyone involved in that. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, you can comment. YouTube, I'll read the comments out. Facebook, I will be putting them up as they start coming through. But I think I've probably given him enough time to be ready. Mark Barton, are you there, mate?
Yeah, mate, I am. How are you?
Very well, thank you, and thank you again for joining me. As I said, I want as many people to get involved in this show as we can and promote harness racing and the likes. Will you be watching the Matildas with the boys? You've got a couple of young boys. We'll be sitting back watching the Matildas.
I've got a couple of avid young Socceroos, and I actually had I've got an 11-year-old boy enjoying a birthday today, so that's what he wants for his birthday, to see the Matildas win, mate. So it's actually they were very lucky. One of their kids at their school, their grandmother came in and played for the Matildas in the mid '80s. So she was in with some of her stuff to show the kids in the class. So that's got them really excited.
That's that's cool. I was listening to some feedback today, and they were saying, it'll be a bit short-lived and the likes, and I'm like, you can't say that. And obviously, so that lady, she comes back after the '80s and she can still put a lot of input into it, which is what we I think what we want. I think it's great. I think it's good for any sport in general. And I will say, I don't know if you've seen it, but they've done I'm going to put it up over the top of you because that's where it's situated. I didn't get a chance to get all of my things loaded as I did, but the Matildas, so the lady drivers will be driving in the Australian colours tonight. I think they've got a person each race, but a bit of uproar from social media because they're saying, what a waste of money and all the rest. It's 2 sets of silks. Highland Sportswear kindly donated them, and I think well done to those guys. You never know what will come of it. I think it's just a great marketing ploy. They're trying something different, and I think it's really good.
Mate, I think it's great. I think anything that encourages kids to get outside and try something, mate. I think it's a great idea, mate. Great initiative.
Yep, absolutely. Rightio, mate. Firstly, a recap of last week, and we will go through each of the races, just a quick touch on them. But overall, mate, the Bendigo Harness Racing Club, how they presented the night, and that you must have been wrapped.
Mate, outstanding. The thing, I guess, you get a team of guys that don't have $1 million races every week, or don't even have that feature race program. I couldn't be happy with the Bendigo Club. The track was fast. Like, I'm a novice at this place, but everyone you talk to said, look, the track was fantastic. I think that the quality of the racing's true. Like, you're getting opportunities with the sprint lanes, etc. And I've just seen everyone that was there had a great night. I think, look, don't worry, our very first race was, I think some of the emotion, not just owners, but breeders, and, from our point of view, mate, we could not be happy with the way it all went.
No, I think it was an awesome night, and it was well done. I love to see the green, love to see the getting the branding, if you like, out there. It's something that I've always been big on. There's no reason why I didn't change your hat just before, so I do that on purpose. Anyone wondering, it's not that I have the wrong hat on. I think you do those things. The branding of the green, everyone knew who was sponsoring the other night, and as well as your corporate sponsors, if you like, alongside with Harasta Trotters, Alabar Farms and Woodland Stud, all coming on board, all being there, all having a representation, and all buying into the night as well, which was really key.
Oh, mate, look, I know, talking Pat Driscoll about it, he said, look, it's one of the more memorable nights in the last couple of seasons. He said it was just a really good feel. It was great. The vibe around the place was fantastic. Even the vibe around the stables. I think the corporate over all of the horses racing, I think, gave it that group status. Whilst they're not group races these days, they're listed races, these sale races. But it was it had the feel of a group race, and you're chasing big dough. Really good money.
No, absolutely. We've got Bo Tyndale on. We've got a couple of others on, but Bo would have, he didn't have a runner, but I'm tipping he would have liked to have had a runner there, and he'll be aiming at getting one next year. Would have been cold there this morning too for Bo. It was a little bit chilly for everyone. We'll touch on all of the sponsors actually as we go through. There was a couple of real highlights for the night that I saw, that not necessarily on the track as well, but just we'll go through Michelle Arnott. She'll be talking trotters in a minute. Don't you worry. This horse actually will be one that gets her the first race. I think we had some quality horses there. Tradie Lady, she's probably the second best 3-year-old this season, filly at the minute anyway, behind Rockin' With Attitude. But what a brilliant win this was the other night. She did a lot of work, and she's really starting to get back to her form. And of course, bred by Yabby Dam Farms and Arasta Trotters. Yeah,
look, mate, it was. I think when we looked at those fields, I think the Yabby Dam draft themselves might have been around 60% of the draft, but I think then what hurrahs the trotters, when you look at what the stallions represented, it was fantastic. And mate, isn't it great to see a 3-year-old that's got that sort of dominance already? And it'll be interesting to watch, or a lot of fun to watch that horse at the back end of the season.
Well, yeah, but there is a horse that wasn't a sales graduate, Bardo, unfortunately for you, but for Connections, it was a homebred. So there's some really good racing coming towards the end of the season. You're spot on. But she is a class filly. There's no worries there at all, Tradie Lady, and she's getting back in form. And that's exactly what we want with the industry. And it was a good kick-off because Arasta Trotters have put a lot of money into supporting and sponsoring this race, and to kickstart this the Trotters off here on that night was a good start.
Yeah, and I think what we found too was we had those couple of high grade races at the start of the night, and like you say, we had some quality horses running around, and I think like you say, Tradie Lady was I think, I don't know, she won it with a couple of dollars. Like, she was an odds on horse, and I think she deserved her position there. I think she's I couldn't tell you what her form was without looking it up, but she was dominant and deserved to win.
No, absolutely. The next one, this is a really, really good story, in a sad way as well, but it was just so great to see this I'm going to say little horse by Wishing Stone, Prince of Rock. He sort of captured everyone's imagination about this horse. Wasn't it great just to see him win, and then the scenes afterwards, Bardo, was just, you had to be on track to sort of understand what was going on behind the scenes.
Look, we had the opportunity, both you and I, to see to see the Pengrazios the weekend or the week before with the heats when we're at Bendigo for the pacing heats, and that's what she said. I just hope he goes okay the next night, and obviously he went well at Kilmore, didn't he? Won his heat, and then to come back, he went 2 minutes at Kilmore and then went 1:57 at Bendigo the next week. And I know we talked about that horse way back a good couple of months ago, and the comment was from Louise, look, Mum would have just loved to have seen this horse, out on the track and doing a thing. And I think it's part of that connection with why we love the horse industry.
I do another show for Woodlands and Talking Trotters for What the Hill, and I did it a couple of weeks ago, and I missed Kilmore when I think he won his second race, and Louise was upset because I didn't do Kilmore and didn't mention this little horse. Whereas he's gone on the bigger and better things. He just continues to raise the bar, and it's exciting to see, and just amazing scenes. I mean, obviously Louise was very emotional would be the right way, but even Daryl Crone afterwards, what it meant to him, $20,000 purchase, and he was just blown away. And that's the reason people should be getting to the races and actually seeing what is going on behind it. You can watch it on TV, you just don't get to see the emotion and the raw. And don't worry, the guys with the locomotive, they were super proud of his horse, but they were trying to carry him from the grandstands as well, weren't they?
Oh, well, mate, and like I said, for us, he was probably our first superstar for us. It goes back when you look at him. He's out of an absolutely in the Australian market, renowned man in La Cucaracha. But you go back through to that broodmare sire, safely kept, and what's he, 9 wins now from 14 starts. So he's an awesome horse, and don't write that horse off at the back end of this season when we're seeing keep coming as he gets fitter and runs on. But I think that'll be great to see those two horses head to head over the next few months.
Yep, and Basilica was going to be thereabouts as well, unfortunately jumping off stride for Alabar. But yeah, good result for all. I think that one, give everyone a bit of heart, I suppose, that you can dream. We're going to leave Luxaturna. We'll come back to Luxaturna because we've got some other announcements to make there. Bardo can't see what I'm doing. I'm actually just changing hats, Bardo. I'll just take the...
I have got you on the iPad to see what you're up to on the screen, mate, but I'm not...
It's a little bit behind, but that's okay. I just sort of better change hats and look after Husey and the crew. With Sweet Bella, great story. The unsupervised purchase, if you like, by Bruce Edwards. It's pulled out to be a masterstroke, this little filly. She just keeps getting the job done. She was a short price favourite, but it was no less exciting watching her win, mate.
Look, I don't know. Look, again, I'm a novice at this, and I just love her gait, the way she travels. Like I don't know, mate. If I was in the swimming game, they talk about efficiency, and she just seems to get there and get into her gears and go to work. I was super impressed, and I think you put your Woodlands hat on, and I've had the pleasure of owning a Sweet Lou. They're good horses. They've got a lot of try. The little bit I've seen them, they seem to keep trying, and he's nearly a winner a week. But that's an outstanding horse, and I think there's another example of Bruce's ability to pick himself a yearling with one of these other winners later in the card we'll talk about. But it's another unsupervised purchase that might have caused the mate a little bit of angst as well.
It indeed it caused a bit of trouble. We will get onto that one. I'll take the Woodlands hat on. It'll come off. It'll come back on a bit later on because there's some.
Just while we're on that one, mate, the in that race, there, Sweet Bella's race, you go down there and look at Lochinvarzina. She finished sixth this night. She was our top sell filly 2 years ago, Captain Trisha's filly.
Yep.
She's actually going to retire now with 6 wins out of 15 starts. And when I talked to the owners, they said, look, we want to put this one to Kevin Gordon. Said we want to put it to Bettor's Delight while we can still get to him, and reckon that's a great cross. So I think that's exciting to see. That's our top sell filly. She's won 57,000, but had 6 wins out of 15 starts. She's gone 156, and in a couple of years' time, we're going to see a Bettor's Delight, we hope, out of her that potentially we can be seeing in the sale ring again.
Wow. We've got them all watching, Bardo. We have to watch our P's and Q's. Gemma Smallman, Brett Coffey, Jake Stockton, Darren Clayton and Blanche Pools. So it was good to see Blanche there the other night as well, but we'll get to that in a sec. Just quickly, with Lochinvarzina, of course, she contested both lots of heats. Ludicrous. The joy on the owners, they've run second in the 2-year-old and second in the 3-year-old. Darren Carroll, a good mate of mine, he gave me a high five as he went past. He was super stoked with her filly. Again, so many good stories, but just to see the joy on them that night, the excitement, I think it was great.
Mate, it was. There's a lot of great stories. I think even the connections down the line this time, but something about Eiley in that race was last year's winner.
And Joel was there with both those horses, Matriarcha as well, making the final. So, yep, they were both there as well. And even though he got beat, you wouldn't have known that if you were talking to him after the night. He was there just to enjoy it. Brought his kids, his wife, Granny Shoemaker as well. And they thoroughly enjoyed themselves, as did a few of the other guys, which is what it's about.
That's it. The race lasts for a couple of minutes, but the night was the whole evening. And I think that was them, as well as, we'll talk about them in a while, a couple of the other connections that turned up had a lot of fun too, didn't they?
You're in trouble. Christy Barton has also just joined in as well, so don't worry, I'm watching them all as they log in. So
don't get away with much, mate.
She'll be there. Rightio. The next we want to show is the Alabar. We've got Brett Coffey on, and well done to those guys. I don't have either Alabar hat, either the black brimmed one or the gold brimmed one. It's a bone of contention. I don't remember exactly which one Brett does like and doesn't like, but that's okay. So, but the big boss, firstly, super impressive. Of course, by Bettor's Delight, my friends are great, Woodlands, and that. This was a super win, but it was a brilliant race. It was a brilliant drive. Just so exhilarating to be there and feel the excitement after, as the race was on and directly after it.
Yeah, look, obviously, Brett, we talked about it before, didn't he, the Bay of Biscay, a horse that he's got a real soft spot for, but then, you look at Tomahawk Bart, Gary Barton's been a terrific supporter of our sales. Bay of Biscay is a super horse in his own right, and then the big boss, he's got the job done. But again, that was, I know this was restricted to sale race entries only. But look, that's as class a field of finalists as you'd see in any race. I would have thought, the 3-year-old.
Oh, absolutely, I think, and there's big things to come. You say there before about Bay of Biscay, also Grayson's Red. He was a $150,000 purchase out of the Sydney sales, and he ran 5th in the same race. So terrific to see both those horses back on the track. I'm going to actually put the video back up, but just at the top. If you have a look, if you're a novice to the replays and the results, and I watch these quite a lot, you'll see the top speed, and it's back to about 53 kilometres an hour now, up in the top right-hand corner. Underneath it is 56. Go back and watch this horse. Now, Marie, as we were pirating it, and off the web, I'll say that I did that. I don't think I'll get into trouble from HRV for promoting the industry, but we were watching that. He maintained 53 kilometres an hour. He got up to about 55, 56 for a brief moment, the big boss, but for 1,000 metres at the least. Now, if we had gone back further, he may have still been doing at speed, but we actually found ourselves just watching that speed and just watching it go up and down that little bit, but the consistency, and I think that was the one thing about his race. There was no backing off. It was just consistent high speed and brutal high speed. It's a cool way, watch the race, but then go back a couple of times and watch it from a different point of view. It is really good, actually.
Yeah, look, and that's something for me, trying to learn more about the sport. I think that's exciting for me. I will make a point of that. I will say too, talking Bay of Biscay, Tim Bunning, he was a terrific syndicate that he's put together, or a group of them put together. They were winners last year they had a win at the race, our first race series. But people like Tim and the effort that he puts in, and the team. Like when you look at the owners in that horse, there's a number of them. There could be 15 or 15 owners in Bay of Biscay, and the effort he puts in to make sure they're all kept informed, and it's great to have their support. And I think that's what I really enjoyed about the night. 3 or 4 groups of people who were there just having fun while their horses were running around. I think it's great. He
was up and about too. I saw him before the first, it might have been the first heat, but yeah, he was definitely up and about, Tim, and and he gets out. Like I remember seeing him inspecting yearlings as well, which is not going to be that far off as well. Matty Cooper, I'll get back to you in a minute. Matty Cooper's not necessarily about Nutrien, so I'll get onto him a little bit later on, Bardo, when he's talking about betting lines and the speed and the stamina, which is a really good. Jeffrey Dixon, Mark Barton, Nutrien do a fantastic job for sponsors. I hope it can continue far into the future. The industry needs it. So thank you very much for that, Jeffrey. And I don't think you're going anywhere shortly, are you? I hope not.
No, not at all, mate. Look, I think you migrate to do the things you like to do, and I think we've put a lot of effort into. We're the first people to put our hands up. We've had a lot to learn. We've tried to learn the industry, and we've not everything we do is the way it's always been done, and make no apologies for that. You fail fast if you do something that's been done better, but it does mean a lot to Jeff. Thank you very much, because those sponsors, you won't single one out, but the sponsors, not just their horses, but the financial contribution as well as the industry knowledge is where we've managed to be after 3 years, and to stand over 750 horses in our third season was a very rare privilege. And mate, we're excited about next season, but I can't wait till April to see these, particularly the 2-year-olds, come round again, because it's the personalities are starting to rise out of our pack of graduates now. It's a lot of fun.
I'll condone what you just said, or compliment, what you just said then too, Bardo. Like it's well known I wear a Woodlands hat, but Husey will do anything to promote any of the horse sales. Brett Coffey, and even like on last week's show, doing a preview of the races coming forward. But I wanted to promote By the Missile and Confederate as well, both by one's by Seaside, one's by Sweet Lou. Brett didn't hesitate. It was on the show live. Like, I think the buy-in from these guys, knowing that I think we all have to improve the industry. Every person involved in the industry needs to do it, and these guys lead from the front. And I think it's outstanding, and it's good fun to work with people like this. And I'm not saying that because Brett's on. People can watch it anytime they want this show, and that's a beauty. But I do find them terrific to deal with. Probably one of the downsides, Bardo, I found for the other night was Don Marantello, not being there. A very passionate man. He has some awesome celebrations, and I reckon he would have gone right
along.
off.
It's wanting to lug in a little bit by the look of it. Catalpa rescued 4
got
deep
the job done.
as they head around
and
the
another
home turn.
beautifully
Held
bred
up
horse
was
out of Roger's Passion
dangerous.
to David
And also
Marine.
our Vinny, 27-4 down the
Yeah,
back,
look,
and
he's
Captain
a big
Hammerhead
pass,
had
actually,
slipped
the
away to the
Christopher
lane.
Falls is
He put a gap on the second
They've
horse,
proved
so
their,
Moonraker.
they've proved their
Petrarca was
value,
gone.
but yet
Sure
Don
thing, Captain
Martello
grinding
brought
home and Dangerous
quality
getting
horses.
through. But it's Captain
You look
Hammerhead
at,
in front.
again, that Art
Dangerous
Major
is
breeding quest
flying.
on the line,
It's too
but,
late.
the Art
Captain
Major,
Hammerhead all the
how
way. Wins the
many great
3-year-old
horses
Colton
have got
Geldings.
that Art Major line back through the dam?
Yep, absolutely. Apologies, I didn't realise the audio was still left on that video. I thought I'd turned most of them off, but I missed that one. But that's okay. Yeah, exactly. And Exhilarate, again, another good win. Some nice little horses to watch. Sure Thing Captain did an enormous job. We must say well done to Shannon Price, bringing him all the way down from Queensland, which is just enormous, isn't it?
Mate, how good was the run from Dangerous too, mate, in that race? That finish that he put into that race was awesome. And if you're there with the Lowry boys to get over the line, it was that was probably one of the highlights of my night, I think.
One of the fearful things of my night was walking down the stairs in front of the boys when we were all leaving the venue. So I was a bit worried if they had missed a step, which was very likely because they well and truly enjoyed themselves. I was the first one. I was the first one gone. That's for sure. So. Jack Butler, we've got a couple of Queenslanders on, and Philip Wood as well from South Australia, and I'll talk about that in a sec. But Dangerous, there is a sibling to him that will be offered up. We will just very quickly with the Queensland sales being advertised. I saw there's an advert where there's a half to Dangerous with Glenn Mitchell's draft going to be offered up with the Queensland Greg Mitchell, with the Queensland sales.
Yep. And look, make again not to try and. Single out one trainer, but Shane Sanderson, to make sure we had the 3 heats stand up, we needed one horse to run in Sydney, and he left one in Melbourne and did take one to Sydney for me, which I can't thank him enough. It made sure that heat did stand up in Sydney and made for the fairest horses in those heats to get through to the final. So, Shane, I see, Dangerous did finish second, but he had the 2 horses you can see there as Catalpa Rescue went round as well, but it's great to see, like you say, Shannon. She's been a supporter. She's bought horses since we started, and they do a great job, and it's great to see the Queenslanders supporting us.
Yep, absolutely. And as I said, the Queensland sale, the noms are open now. They all close on the 31st. We will touch off on those very shortly. That is the last of the paces for the time being. The next one, Bardo, was one of those ones you definitely had to be there. Colin Holloway and Heather Holloway, Brett and their granddaughter Demi. Just a terrific story, bred by Alabar Bloodstock as well. So it was just a good story all around. No telling Heather getting the chockies. It was a small field, but I think it was nearly the best presentation afterwards because it was a hell of a yarn.
No, it's a great story, isn't it? And look, I guess also when you look at the Mayer family again, you said that Illawong brand, Illawong's stud prefix. That's I think that's great to see that. That line of horses, the Hartnett family's horses, still coming through. And I know Alabar did buy that mare after his passing, but I think that's great. And then you see Sebastian K, which are no longer turn up, and like you say, a relatively low value purchase. But again, I think that's where Bruce Edward might have had a little hand in saying this horse and that family are highly valued, and this horse is undervalued, and he bought it. And I think. Heather might not have been as excited about the purchase in the first instance, and he wasn't allowed inside.
I will. Brooke Hammond's on from Tassie. I will actually. I've got to cut it out. I interviewed him the other night on Talking Trotters the other night, and I will cut it out of it. It's quite a unique story, but effectively, Colin got the granddaughter to ring Heather, the grandmother, up on the way home, and he said he could hear some stern words being spoken, and then when he got home, the door was locked, the back door was locked, so it was one of those things. But anyway, it was terrific. The other part of this, Bardo, was 8 o'clock, Sweet Bella went around, so you say 8:30 that Bruce could have headed home. He had plenty of time to get going home, but he was still there at 9:35 with Pat Driscoll standing there watching that presentation. They're the sorts of things we need to, I suppose, encourage and get more of in the industry as well. Get that out there. But I thought that was one of the great things to see from my point of view when I was doing the presentation, to look up and see those two gentlemen standing there smiling, genuinely so happy for connections. I mean, Pat sponsored the race. He didn't breed the winner. It didn't matter to him or Bruce. They were just there for the sheer joy of the industry.
Yeah, and I think that's something, again, having not owned one before, you don't know what it's like to have one. And as you know, we had one that went round, and we'll talk about that race in a minute. But it's a completely different feeling to camp drafting, mate. You're not participating, but you do. There's a lot of fun, lot more than I realised.
Yep, absolutely. No, it was good to see. So I'll put that video up as well going forward. And then the last race, Mark, what a lovely little horse this is. Also didn't know a lot about until I went to Kilmore the other night. I stayed to the last race at Kilmore to get to see him going around first hand. And cool dude, give Greg a bit of a hand to get the gear off so we could take a photo. And he done the job again. He's just a cool dude, this little horse, Valentino, of course, bred by Yabby Dam Farms, and he's actually owned by Jared Maloney, a great supporter of harness racing, Swan Hill, and the Nutrien brand as well, mate.
Yeah, definitely. And look, when you look at Valentino again, he's 3 wins from 8, but in a relatively short career, he's already racked up $50,000 in earnings. So it's great return. I know Robbie Morris drives a few for us, and he's always saying you've got to get a trotter in New South Wales. He said the return on investment's great once you get them up and going, and I think that's the other thing. Once they get fit, they stay going, don't they?
Yep, and I will say on to that, David Watson, they've got on board. They've announced a $25,000 final and 3 heats of $10,000. So when you go into the Nutrien sales in 2024, and we'll get onto that in a sec, you need to be aware of that at the end of the season there is now, well, effectively $55,000 worth of more prize money for 2-year-old trotters at Club Menangle, and there is more to come, so which is super exciting. So Robbie's on the ball, and they are definitely growing the thing, but the Fitzpatrick family have been ahead of that for a long time. And as I said, you'll see Jared Maloney there. He actually bought Aspiring Eva out of the Winter Woolies sale a couple of years ago. This horse wasn't on. This horse went through the yearling sales, I believe, Bardo. You'll tell me yes or no, hopefully. But but he did buy her. And I did an interview with Kath McIntosh today, and Kath announced that the Bold Eagle filly that Jared has since bred will be going through the 2024 yearling sales for Nutrien, which is, I mean, this is the start of the good news that we've got to come for tonight with some of the bigger names we're going to talk about. But it's super exciting.
What did you? I think you mentioned to me, is there only 6 or 8 yielding foals on that drop in Australia? So it's a chance to get into a filly, and in a family that's already got a winner that's got 3 from 8 starts and 3 wins 4 seconds. That Valentino. So you've got a good mare family, and I think it's a great story and a great opportunity.
Oh no, absolutely. I think Kath McIntosh might have said in the interview I did with her today there was 6. I will stand to be corrected. There's not a worry there in the world, but there's not a lot bred. If I don't know if Louise or Pat Driscoll might be listening, or Jackie Gibson's on. Jackie, good timing for you. You'll be your name will get a mention very shortly. Someone will keep it. But I know there wasn't a lot bred at all. So, Matty Cooper, sorry, Nutrien and Mark do a wonderful service to our sport. Always enjoy listening, Matty. It wasn't that. It was actually just I'll keep through Bardo, and then we'll cover off on yours. I wasn't fobbing you off, Matty, I promise. And Jeffrey Dixon, your comments on Petrarca, we'll get to those once we get rid of Bardo as well, because he doesn't understand AFL. Mark, now we skipped over one race, and we did it in a way deliberately. A little bit of planning. We don't do a lot of planning, you and I, but the return firstly of Luxa Turner to the racetrack. You and I, we had lunch with Ricky. He was a touch edgy. He didn't want to give me an interview. He didn't want any mozzing or anything along those lines. It meant a fair bit to him, this filly getting the chockies in the fashion that she did and returning, didn't she?
Oh, look, mate, she's a class act, and I guess we talked about it, and he said, look, I don't like to talk about horses beforehand. I know the Laspina family that have got this mare. Yeah, it's great. I know that Rosario made the effort to come across from WA where he was working. He did the red eye from Perth to watch you go round, and I think that mare. But again, we talked about. I guess it is a breeding royalty. You've got Brooklyn Lodge, mate. It's been a household name in New South Wales, breeding quality horses for a long time. But you look out of that mare family of the arch nemesis, and she's bred Crunch Time, he went 149 and 6 won nearly 300,000. Then Captain Crusader won nearly 300,000, and now Luxaturna's already at 199,932. So there you go, just a stone's throw from 200. She is, and the man missed in 2020, but exciting for us, mate. Which we're getting to. There's a Captain Treacherous colt, the full brother. He's going to be in the Sun of Sydney this year. So I think that's exciting. And if you look at that family, like Sun Beach, somewhere the side of Crunch Time, and another full in Captain Crusader, are both close on $300,000 earners. So it's a great family, great opportunity.
Yeah, it's exactly. You're spot on. So just $290,000 for Captain Crusader, who is a full to Luxaturna, but also the colt that's going to go through next year's sale. And then of course Captain Crunch is by Captain Treacherous, who's by Sun Beach somewhere, and that's where Crunch Time comes into it at $290,000 as well. So, but super exciting filly. But that's a huge result for Nutrien for next year's sales. I don't know this for a fact. I presume it will be going to the Sydney sale, Mark.
Yes, Sydney sale, mate.
Yep.
Yes. Yep. No, it's lined up, and we talked about it. It's probably like I say, we talked about that race, and we were lucky enough to have one in that race. And she's had only had 4 starts now, and we've actually with her place money there the other night, we've actually paid for her. So she's a green number already. And mate, I can't tell you the amount of fun to see. If we would have got top 5, we would have been really pleased. But no, she's it's great to be part of that night. And those people, most of the people listening probably have owned a horse, but if you haven't owned one, we've got to get that message out to the wider public. It's not hard to own one, and once they're up and running, and that's what a mate of mine did go in, a thoroughbred mate, or who's been in thoroughbreds, and he said, I can't believe how often these things go around. He said, they're once they get fit, they stay fit.
Yeah, and again, it's probably gone through a real quiet period, but a lot of these horses are going to be backing up into some really good races going forward. You guys haven't got far off for your New South Wales Breeders' Challenge, I think it is. It'll be starting up soon. Races at Fireproof. Bido's horse, of course, is Fireproof. I think it's a bit harsh there. They've actually got tired, no action taken. You're beaten 50 metres. She actually got held up, and she was running home terrific, I thought. The stewards have no sense of adventure, I don't think.
She has. She's got a good little turn of foot. She's a Fear the Dragon, which after I bought her, I found out that made her Challenge Blue, and she's that's really what we knew what we're up against there last week, and that's what we're hoping. We're setting her up for. I think the Challenge Blue heat the next week. That's another $100,000 race for a juvenile filly. And I guess getting back to fillies generally, mate, like I said to someone, I'm going to only stick to the fillies myself because some of the big guns do want to own the colts. But secondly, if they don't run so fast, we can use them as great opportunity as a recip mare for our stock horse and our camp draft horses. they won't go to waste at our place.
But if you get a good one, you can also breed from it and go back to the Nutrien sales, which is what we want to do. Before we do get off the races there, we must also say Aaron Goadsby, thank you very much for bringing his horses down a week in advance for the heats. And then Michael Hawke, a name a lot of people won't know down here, but he brought 2 down for the final from Canberra, which is terrific effort from all those people concerned as well.
Definitely, mate. Look, and Aaron, they supported us in the Gold Coast with horses this year. He also did take 2 down, and he said he did me a favour to help make the heat stand up. But I did remind him that Ignite the Fire also won the Vic Red bonus by coming down too. So it's an each way bet for us. But no, they've been good supporters. And look, I think more than anything outside this, they've bought some nice horses. Sweet Valeria ran fit. So he's got a couple of nice ones, and he breeds some nice horses. But he did say that. He said this year's drop, he had a bit of bad luck in the stable. Like he has lost a couple of foals this season or last season. So we're hoping he could be another potential buyer, and we'll get him to come round again.
Bido, before we go any further, I'm having a shock and run. I've just got to do this, but it actually does affect you. You may or may not know, but I've just put the Woodlands hat back on. We've got to congratulate Stacey White, or Stacey Markham. Some people will know her as Stacey Markham before she married David White, a Riverina boy, on the birth of Lachlan Jack White a few days ago. So the reason I say you've got to be aware of it too, Buddy, because she's Lockie is actually indirectly related to you, but huge congratulations to them both too. So
look, his dad is my wife's first cousin, so that'll make my boys and him, I guess, what, second cousins.
No idea.
That little fella. So you're a step ahead of me because I know we haven't actually got that news just yet. So good luck on both.
No, obviously it happened on the 11th, but their Facebook photo officially only came up today. So well done to them. Duncan McPherson is on,
and possibly the rest of the family know, and I've not been caught up with that one too.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. No, you didn't tell me. That'll get you in all sorts of trouble. Matty Cooper and Jeff Dixon, behave yourselves on the football. We'll get to that, I promise. We will definitely get to that. Right, Bardo, some other pretty exciting, so a couple of exciting horses already been mentioned there. We've got a Bold Eagle, half to Valentino. We've got a full to Luxa Turner. A couple of other horses that are coming. I said there before with Jackie Gibson, we might talk about. You've got a 3/4 to I Believe in the sale.
Yeah, look, and I believe, obviously, Captain Treacherous out of Now I See Better's Delight mare that goes back to Perfect Dark. But what I think is exciting there, I believe, was the competitive horse that stood alongside Luxa Turner in the Bathurst Gold Tiara. So was runner-up and also won the APG final, mate. So you've got, again, I believe, an exceptional filly in her own right and one of the standouts of this, in this class of 2-year-olds. And effectively we'll have a 3/4 with a Captain Crunch out of Now I See coming into the Sydney catalogue. So, again, great performance. And you've got proven cross, that Sunbeach cross again coming through out of a Better's mare. So I think it's that's exciting for us when you see the two of the top performing 2-year-old fillies in the country, and we've got a full and a 3/4 out of those two families in the farm in Sydney.
Yeah, and like current families, and as I said there before with Jackie Gibson watching, like a horse that was actually raised at her farm. So I believe it was actually. I better be careful on that.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing, I guess, and we'll leave it as a little teaser. I guess we had a look at the weanlings there, and there's. We'll talk about this horse another night with you, but there's absolute standout couple of weanlings out at Success this year, mate.
Yep, we'll get to that. Be no hassles there at all. If you want some good hospitality, Jackie will. Well, it depends if you're privileged or not, but I didn't get to go to the cafe last time. I think I got shown the gate and on my way, but other people seem to get to go to a cafe, but we'll leave that one for another day.
I was drafting lambs at Young last week, and if I finished in time, we're going to catch up at the cafe, and I happened to have my client did let his father unlock a gate and boxed up 1,200 lambs. I had to reweigh. So I didn't finish till about 4 o'clock last week. So we didn't get that opportunity, but we will next time.
You'll be there. And you've also got a 3/4 to I Told You for Phil and Denise Thurston. They've committed again. Another good story, and this is a full. So
better one better than that, mate. A full.
Yeah,
it's actually the full sister. So I Told You.
Yeah. So winning here from just his name just escaped.
Brad Hewitt.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
She won the week before, and Matty Rue. Well, we talked about Fireproof. Matty jumped on Fireproof for us at Bathurst in the Silver Consolation. He won, and a great rangeman himself. But he started that filly, or she had a first start, and then gone down with Brad, and in good company, and that's a standout filly that I know Phil and Denise wanted to retain, and they have committed. The full sister is in the sale with us in Sydney as well. So I just look at the depth of our Sydney catalogue, mate. It's as exciting as I've seen. We'll have a few less nominations. Obviously, last year was packed full of horses with what with the way things were, and this year we're going to have a few less, which I think it'll stand in good stead. There's a lot of genetics, that you'd like to see. I think, the down by the seasides that we've got, you talk Woodlands again, there's some, fantastic horses starting to come through there. Great runner, Treacherous, the Ideals, the Sweet Blues, the American Ideals. I think Stay Hungry is a horse we're going to see, more of. I think Better's Wish will be interesting to see this year too. There's again, the art majors are just, they never let you down, and they always be Mickey's are really kicking goals. So there's a great spread already starting to come through the catalogue.
And and some exciting trotting crosses as well. Bardo, the sales, to nominate for the sales, they're still open till the 31st of August, which I reckon, by my bad maths, no, it can't be tomorrow week. Must be tomorrow fortnight, is it?
It's a fortnight and a day, mate. So Thursday fortnight. Is Thursday the 31st. we're going to head to Queensland for Saturday night. It's the Q-Bred races on Saturday night at Albion Park. So
thanks for the invite. Thank you very much. Yep.
No,
that's okay.
it's not too late to come, Paulie.
That means I've got to fly myself. I don't like that idea. You know, I don't like spending money. I'm all about the freebies. So I haven't seen Brad Steele on tonight. He must be having the night off. I don't know what's going on there, but that's okay. But with the sales, anyone wants to get in touch with you, best to give you a call on your phone number. You will eventually get to them. You do sometimes have a bit of a backlog.
Yeah, look, I like to think we get back to people same day, but usually by the next day. But yeah, between if you can't get me, try Gemma. Obviously, she's flat out in the office, and I've been often I can be remote on the road, so I can sometimes be at a race for a little while. But it's we've got good entries coming in. Like I say, the quality of the horses is probably the thing that's most exciting. Like I know, I'm just scrolling through an art major out of All That Glitters Is Gold. There's another cult there that's
Bring It On.
The
Bring It On family.
Yeah, which again, that's a proven family. It's exciting to see that horse. I'm just going really quickly through what's there. It's great to see we've got the Rainbow Farms draft in there again. They've got a smaller draft this year, but a quality draft of horses. I think don't forget some of these colonial size too. You've got there's when I say that you've got For a Reason. You've got your
Bring It Ons.
Poster boys. Like there's some terrific horses coming through domestically as well.
But just one thing we do not want to forget before we finish too, though, is Bathurst. Bathurst do not close on the 31st, but it is definitely still there, and it's a sale I thoroughly enjoyed. I think everyone enjoyed it, and it I suppose has a bit of a market. But I tell you what, if you're looking at sell horses, don't be scared to go there, because there's plenty of money on offer, and plenty of serious buyers go there to purchase horses.
The other one not to forget too is you've got the ability to pay up for obviously the Bathurst Gold Crown, but you can also pay up for the Nutrien Sale Series. And we had a number of horses that was something with us doing the sale. They said, look, that actually gives us an opportunity. And I know, there was a modern art. I'm trying to think of the horse now, mate. That he went round.
Lochinvar Art. Lochinvar Art was he was a graduate.
No,
from
but no, was it Timmy Richter?
Oh, yep. Yes, yep.
Yeah, when he was I think a $4,000 purchase out of the Bathurst sale, and like he was unbelievable on race night when we were there.
Yep. And of course this year they actually sold the New South Wales Derby and Oaks winners, and I can't remember either of them. But both have lost. Something Black and Willow was the other horse as well. Both trained by the Turnbulls. One by Steve and one by... Anyway, someone will help me out at some stage. But anyway, they both went through that same sale. It is a high-quality sale. And as I said, Lochinvar Art was a graduate of that. He's more commonly, people say to him about being purchased through a ready-to-run sale, but he actually was initially sold through the Bathurst sale and then put back through later on through the ready-to-run sale. So, yeah, that was...
Yeah, correct. Just another one. I've been just scrolling while we've been talking, mate, but I see just with the Yabby Dam draft, mate, All the Baron Eve, we've got a filly by Bald Eagle on account of Yabby Dam Farms as well. So that if there's only 6 or something in bred this year, we're going to see a couple of those there. So, out of a very well-regarded mare family too.
No, absolutely. But thank you. You and I could talk forever. We will be back. We'll definitely be back on the 30th. We'll catch up definitely on then to make sure people are aware that they still can get in and make sure it's in their mind. But we will be catching up. Probably got a few more announcements to come out over the next couple of weeks as well, so which will be super exciting. And you guys will be there at the Breed to Succeed, which is on this Sunday. You yourself won't be there, but Jack will be deputising. So anyone wants to know anything about the Nutrien Equine, when you go to Breed to Succeed on Sunday, Jack, your son, will be there, and he'll be able to help out. And if not answer your questions, he'll be able to steer you in the right direction to where to get those questions answered.
No, definitely, mate. Look, the key thing, I suppose, for us is vendors. If you've got horses you want to put in, look, we're happy to help try and get those horses added to the catalogue now. Like I say, we're excited about it. It'll be an exciting Melbourne race and sale weekend in 2024. We've also got a lot of people that, if you haven't dealt with us, talk to us now so we can set your accounts up, get that stuff started now. But more importantly, mate, let's enjoy these babies that have come through the system over the next 3 or 4 months to the back end of the year. Like, there's some great racing, which I'm invested in that as much as anyone. Love.
Yep, absolutely, and we'll be highlighting them as they go along. And good luck to all the connections as well. Brent Thompson. So the 2024 sales are April, and the race is when, Bardo? So
yeah, 13th of April, I reckon, and I'm just checking very quickly as we go. It will be Saturday night, April 13th will be the race night, and the sale at this stage will be Sunday the 14th. But depending on numbers, mate, if we get too many numbers, we might have a Friday afternoon, evening session at Oaklands Junction as well. So
yep.
Yeah, it's 13, 14 of April. Obviously Sydney is back on 9th and 10th. We've moved back a week because of the Miracle Mile has pushed back a week, so we've gone in line with that. With the Brisbane sale, we're on the Sunday the 11th of February, and then Bathurst is in its traditional slot, mate. I reckon the Bathurst sale will be the 24th of March, and I reckon the finals of the Bathurst Gold Crown will be the 31st of March.
Of March, yep. Right, okay. Okay, got me.
So, yeah, busy time, and I think there'll be sales in WA, and there'll be also sales in New Zealand to try and fit in there. So it's a busy February, March, April, mate. And
potentially Tasmania too, but that's a story for another day, mate. We'll get onto that at some stage, won't we?
Something else we'll talk about. But no, the Tassie guys are, they're actually, I think it's probably going to be the best 2-year-old racing prize pool of the lot, mate.
Yep, absolutely. There's a bit of excitement happening all around, but it'll be fine. But thank you. Sit back, go back and watch the Matildas. Can they win?
Oh, mate, I reckon they can. If you look at, I don't know, I'm not a great soccer person. I've been a soccer coach 2 of the last 3 years and never played a game, but I can talk the talk, mate. But it's great actually when you do invest in it and see how they the effort these girls put in, and I think it's the story at the moment. Women's sport generally, whether that's women's AFL, rugby league, cricket, whatever, they're getting recognised, and Australia is very lucky. We've got some talented young men and young women represent the country. Brent
Thompson, just quickly, Bodo says here, 12 months to get to the races. I think that's asking a little too much for the trotter. That is actually why the prize money is stacked in the manner that it is. It's $125,000 for the 3-year-old trotters and $62,500 for the 2-year-olds. It's something that you guys are aware of, but it's about creating an atmosphere as well, isn't it?
Yeah, look, and I've spoken to. I think Brent's absolutely right. Look, we've talked about it and said, how do we go about it? We'll call for noms. If we don't get the right noms to get fields, then I think the only thing for the 2-year-olds is to push back. What I didn't want to do, out of respect for our sponsor particularly, was to just cast that part of our race series aside or put it on at another time. But if it doesn't stand up, and I understand that's quite a potential that won't stand up, we push back to probably a time like now and probably link it in with HRV's blessing, of course, for something around the need for speed or around this time of year. I think the 2-year-old trotters, we saw we only had limited fields this early part of or coming into spring, so it's it's not easy, and it's certainly taken on board. And I've asked people in racing to give me advice on what to do, but at this stage was the recommendation was call for nominations and see what we end up with.
No, absolutely, and great answer. So hopefully that answers Tomo's questions as well. Right, mate, let you go. You go back and enjoy that, and thank you very much for joining me. And as I said, we will be in touch, but thank you very much, Bardo.
Mate, I can only say one other thing. You guys always talk about the AFL and who's going okay at that, but the Roosters had 2 wins in a row too, mate, so don't forget the rugby league next week either.
Mate, are you going to make the final? I know a little bit of knowledge can be dangerous. Are you going to make the finals?
I reckon we're a long shot, but, mate, we've got a roster that you couldn't step over, mate, so I reckon we're still a chance. Never give up.
You're hundreds and drifting. You've got to win all 3 games, and you've got 2 of the top teams to take on, haven't you?
Mate, we've got Parramatta who are going terrible, and I think we've got South Sydney's our last game, and they hate the Roosters and the Roosters hate South. So it'll actually, whatever happens, mate, there'll be a bit of fun watching the game.
Absolutely. Neville Pangrazio's just joined. He's a great Carlton man, so don't worry about that. This show's all going to go AFL now. Don't you worry about that. So, Mark Lee got on. Mark Lee, the winner of the Barristock Challenge, of course, Stacey Towers' partner. They have a little horse called Victor the Inflictor. Definitely, it's named after your man, but it's not named after him in size. I can tell you that much. Victor the Inflictor would walk over the top of him. So, yeah.
I got to say, poor thing for our victory at the Roosters, mate. He's a self-inflicted the last 6 months. He gets himself suspended much worse. So I hope Victor the Inflicted, that I have watched go around, because Victor Radley is an exceptional footballer, and he did catch my eye when they named that. But I hope he doesn't do as much damage to himself as Victor does.
No, definitely not. It was good to see Stacey there the other night enjoying herself too, and she's a very passionate harness person, and we need more of those sorts of people in the industry, Bardo.
And you've got to have a shout-out to Dean Poole for actually driving both Blanche and Stacey home, I reckon, there the other night.
Would have been a quiet trip, wouldn't it? There wouldn't have been much said. It would have been one of the few times Dean couldn't get a word in. He would have been in all sorts. So.
I saw him down doing all the stable work. Normally Blanche gets credit for that, but no, Dino did a great job.
Nah, and the girls dress up, which was really good. It was great to see. So, no. Right out, mate.
Absolutely.
You guys can keep going. Jeffrey Dixon's typed in. They're gone. This will go on all night. See you, Bardo. Thank you.
See you, mate.
There we have Mark Barton joining me, talking all things about the Nutrien race. It was an awesome night, and hopefully he was able to answer a few of the questions there, but also a little bit of footy talk. Now, we will talk footy. Go Tassie, go the Matildas, Maddie Cooper. So Maddie Cooper here, actually before a little while back, Maddie, the breed of harness horses is amazing. Have a betting line filly, and all she does is pace, natural action. So as a trainer, we teach speed and stamina, make shoeing easier too, absolutely. And it is great. And that's what we want to get. We want to get people involved in the industry and have a little bit of fun. Then Maddie Cooper and Jeff Dixon, anyone that had to watch last week's show, of course, actually, sorry, Jeffrey said here, Blake Fitzpatrick is a great young trainer. And as a driver, Brian Hancock said he has no peers. He undersells himself way too much, Jeffrey. You're spot on. But where's Jeffrey's cheeky one here? Petrarca went poorly, like his namesakes kick for goal against you Blues. I've checked the goal umpire into spec savers. So anyone that doesn't watch AFL football, Carlton might have beat Melbourne by, I think it ended up being 4 points, because it was 5 points until that was happened. So 4 points, I didn't care, because once that happened, I wasn't. There's only jumping and carrying on in our house, I can tell you that much there. But of course, Maddie Cooper goes totally touched, go the Blues. So that's what we want to do, is have a little bit of fun. Now, been keeping an eye, so don't forget tonight, and half the conversation, I want to know what people think. Personally, I think it's just a masterstroke. I think it's great to try and get a new audience in. This Go Matildas, getting the lady drivers to be wearing the Matilda colours in the 12, or all the races, actually. I think across the whole board. I think it's an awesome move. Highland Colours have got behind it, so terrific marketing ploy, but Highland Colours traditionally known for the gallops, so I'm sure that there would have been galloping people just tuning in just to see what the colours look like, see how it all went at the track. They would have been seeing 1200 metre racing, having a crack. I don't like 1200 metre racing. I love the idea of the colours. I think it's a masterstroke. But to be able to promote it and do it that way is awesome. Now, I can say that a favourite of On Loose Lines, Alexander Hurley, she won last week with Spun Silver. I'm tipping Alexander Hurley, who is Eric Hurley's daughter, I think. Yes, I think so. I think that's how it works. Could get into trouble for that. Traditional standing start, free for all, fast class paces. I'm sure she never thought she'd be worried about a 1200 metre race, and she'll be hoping they don't stop, because Spun Silver has now gone 2 from 2, 2 weeks in a row. Spun Silver has got the chockies. I'm going to see if I can get Alex on the phone in a minute. She does have another horse going around. Treacherous Rain actually won the next of those. Now, I think Treacherous Rains might have raced. No, it didn't race last week. So well done to the connections there, Gary Lawler and Greg Sugars. So the female drivers haven't got a winner yet, but that's okay. Going forward, still got plenty to get through. Might try and just get through a few of what I have to do. Of course, I was at Kath McIntosh's today. And I can tell you that the 3 stallions from America rocked up. That is actually American Ideal, and it was one of the first things he did. Went to his corner and overlooked the farm, and had an actual look there as what it was. Our top female drivers promoting the Matildas, absolutely Barb Sedgwick, just such an easy, which is Nellie Melba. But no, American Ideal is there. You would not think that horse is 21 years old, and as I said, I did an interview with Kath McIntosh in relation to that, plus Breed to Succeed, which we'll get onto in a minute, plus the Stallion Parade that's coming up, and a few other things. And he was just beat a goose. He was flicking the electric tape. He was carried on like a pork chop. 21 years young, that horse definitely is, but he looked absolutely terrific. Favourite of mine in Lather Up, looks absolutely outstanding. He arrived back there today, of course, a Woodland stud. Sire, his first crop will be hitting the ground here in Australia next year, but they have already hit the ground in America, including Denial, who won the other day. $100 man, I think it's gone 51-2. And there's another horse whose name escapes me, but he's had 12 individual winners already in the North America and doing a terrific job from a small amount of horses. King of the North looks sensational. May I have to look seriously at him for the coming season. I can tell you, Barb, Nelly, that his book is filling fast. And there he is there, King of the North. There's some more photos you'll see on Campbell's comments. Go back to the photos, you'll see them there. Plus, there's going to be some videos coming out about the boys arriving. Just had a little bit of a workload going on today too. But some exciting times. I'm sure Elabar Farms and a few of the other families have already put theirs out as well. So it's an exciting time with all the boys coming back. I don't have a banner. Kath McIntosh's yearling sale. Actually, I think I may have. Just hang on one second. Stallion Parade. September 10. There's another one out, but I didn't have it. But with the Stallion Parade on September 10 coming up at Lower Long Farms, you must go to nrequine.com. So try to go to the website nrequine.com.au, or you can RSVP at admin. Put admin in front of that at nrequine.com, or find out some more through the email account is probably the best way to do it. And someone will always respond back to that account there. So that is for what I've been doing today. But of course, also don't worry about that. I'll stay on since I've got my hat on for the Woodland Stud. Of course, it's my show here. Won the other day in 1:46.4. It is a world record around the Red Mile. Some talk of that horse heading to the Little Brown Jug and being one of the favourites. I don't know if he's been staked for it or not. There was a little bit of conjecture. I was watching a few things on there, he is a super horse, of course, by Sweet Lou. So he is a lovely horse. And then another one for the Woodlands team. This is What the Hills filly, 2-year-old filly, trotting 57-2. Roxana winning the $55,000 size stakes in Ohio. That's a word I should not even have to bloody try and say. I do a shocking job with that. And also, he's getting the job done well and truly in North America. This is John Dutton getting the chockies. If you watch my trotting show, you would have seen him the other day, but out in front for Dave Miller, John Dutton, and I think he trots about a 57 here tonight. No, it can't be a 57, but he gets the job done from Jet Hill in the green bridle, running third as well. So 52. It was 53, 52-2, and done a terrific job. So What the Hill doing a brilliant job for the team at Woodlands. But I think the most impressive thing that's happened to the guys at Woodlands this week has been the birth, as I said, of Lachlan Jack White. So congratulations to Stacey and the team, and of course the whole Woodlands team growing bigger and bigger, and just making sure I ticked off on all those. I get all these things there and I just get myself all confused going on. Right, World Drivers' Championships is going on, and we have this terrific banner. I wanted to show you this banner. I really actually enjoy this banner of the promotion and the lights. Plenty of promotion out there happening, and I gave a big plug for this site here. Go to standardbredcanada.ca to view not only a lot of the like you can get the total definitely get the total, the points total of where everyone's at, but also all your information. You'll be able to see the race replays. All the race replays go there onto their YouTube channel, so they upload those as they go along. But I can actually say here about the points. So Pete McMullen, our own Pete McMullen's running third on 68 points. Ebening of Robert, I think his first name is, from the Netherlands, 3 winners and 2 seconds, if you don't mind, last night. So he jumped to a clear lead. Pete was leading with Doug McNair. Doug didn't have a very, very good night at all. Pete had an okay night. I think he got a winner. I think Doug had a couple of DQs, so he didn't have a great night. Blair Orange had a winner as well, so they're going pretty good. What I will do is I found a couple of interviews. I'd love to see some more content out, potentially a little bit easier to find if we could. But I've actually been able to get a little bit of content. They only go for about a minute, each of these guys. But first, a little video from Doug McNair on how it's all going, then Blair Orange, and then Pete McMullen.
Hi, I'm Doug McNair, and I just got done day 2 of the World Driving Championship, and we're in Germany today. Not sure what part, to be honest with you. It's tough to pronounce some of the names, but we didn't have a very good day. We didn't have a ton of power, I didn't think, early, so I mean, we just got to hope for some better luck tomorrow. And Rick had a big day today. He won 3 from the Netherlands and had 2 seconds, so it's nice to see him do well. He's a real good guy. He's fun to cheer for. So and his parents bought me a nice present from Amsterdam the other day. They just showed up and they gave me a nice new pair of shoes. So something nice to take home. And we're going to move on, and hopefully we can have some more luck tomorrow. And I just want to say hi to everybody back home, and thanks for cheering me on. And tune in tomorrow night. I think it starts about 1 o'clock your time. And hi to Standardbred Canada and Ontario Racing, and thanks again for sponsoring our trip over here to Europe. Have a good one.
And yeah, we'll move on to tomorrow.
So tomorrow on the bus tonight off to Belgium for Mons. A few good barrier draws. You'd be looking forward to the day tomorrow, wouldn't you?
Yeah, got some good draws tomorrow. So I think there's a couple of live chances, and they have good barriers, those ones too. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to the 4-hour bus trip or 5-hour bus trip, but yeah, it'll be another interesting day tomorrow, and hopefully things go well.
No, looking forward to it, and obviously we'll talk to you tomorrow. And you're sitting 4th in the standings, so we're in with a fighting Kiwi chance.
Yeah, we've bounced up a few spots after a few good results today, so hopefully we continue tomorrow.
We're just here having a rest day in the Netherlands after a big night of racing last night, which was pretty successful. We raced at Wolviga last night, and we had a first, a second, a third, fourth, and a sixth. It was a lovely track to race at. It's a lovely place here in Netherlands. It's a beautiful bit of countryside. All the people are really good. It's all trotters, and they were all really good gated, which was really good. And hopefully we can have a bit more success in the next coming days, which is tomorrow in Belgium, the day after in Belgium as well, and then we travel to Germany in Berlin for the last day. So hopefully we can continue this good form and hopefully win the series. But either way, it's been a great experience so far, and really looking forward to just doing my country proud.
So we have the 3 of the drivers partaking in the World Drivers' Championship, and it's a bit of a frustration of mine and a few other people that we can't see it. It is actually a lay night tonight, so there's no feed. We're able to share the feed through social media last night so people can watch it, and we'll try and continue to do that. But I think Sky Channel showed a couple of the races. One was on a split screen last night with no audio on a couple of the races as well. But these are the best of the best. This day and age, we should be able to have it over here. Should be able to have it on a platform where people can see it and can get access to it. So hopefully before the end of this competition, I think they go to Berlin for 2 and then Brussels, or it might be Brussels for 2 and then Berlin for 1. But anyway, they've got 2 more race meetings to go, and it'll be terrific. Stacey Towers is on there. Hello to you. Maddie Clayton as well. So it'd be good to see a little bit more from that. As I said, I think it's we try to promote our industry as best we can right across the board. I know Harness Racing Australia are very, very transfixed on the Eureka and what is coming up with that, and rightfully so, I suppose. But don't forget there's other things going on, and they're over there at the minute with the the International Trotting Association. There's a big contingent of Australians over there, and I don't think it'd be that hard to be able to put a bit of content up onto the websites so that people can keep up to date with what is actually going on. Because if you didn't know, Pete McMullen actually won the first heat of it, and it was terrific. And some of the footage of that race meeting was outstanding. I haven't seen any of last night's at all, but I think the track, by all accounts, was very, very flat, so it may have caused a little bit of grief going on. Of course, the fast track race in the 1200 metre racing, give me your thoughts on that, whether you enjoy it or not. Race 4 has been run and won, but I can't actually show you it just yet because my website's not updating. So, I'm going to do a couple of things. We're going to go to Breed to Succeed now. We want to make sure people are aware that it is on. RSVP, get in touch with the guys is probably the best way, because I'm not sure if it's full or not. I have seen the layout. It's all set up, the room. It looks terrific. 5852 2845 or admin@nrequine.com.au to get in touch with everyone there. Of course, if you are there on the day, and as I said, Brookie Hammond is coming across, and Melanie Main, I know that for a fact, so there's a couple of Tasmanians. And if you are a member of the Harness Breeders Victoria, $55 is all it is to be a member. If you're lucky enough to be drawn out, you may win a service fee to either Pastor Stephen, American Ideal, or Vincent. So that's Pastor Stephen by Lower Long Farms, American Ideal for the team at Woodlands, and Vincent for the team at Alabar Farms. And all three stands are in, two stands are in super form, and of course Pastor Stephen being a half to Father, he might actually be a full to Father Patrick, no telling Heather. So, yep, no, that was Sebastian K. There was another one anyway, it might be Tradie Lady. It doesn't matter, not to worry, it'll annoy me, someone will get to it as well. So make sure you're there. Huge thanks to all the supporters. Problem with this is that is not up to date, but those guys are contributing, so thank you very, very much to those guys. The stand guide should be possibly, you should have that by now with your in your mailbox. Not 100% sure. If not, it is online, so go to hbv.org.au to make sure you get in touch with that one. And then also Hambo Day for the Harness Breeders Victoria, December 22nd. I might drop off on that one for a little while because it's a little way away, but it's an all maiden day, $10,000 races, plus they win their Vic Bread bonus, plus a few other incentives on the day, so it's a good day to get to. That is the 22nd of December. Thankfully, that is a little way away because we've got plenty more good racing to cover off on. What I'm going to do, we're just going to try and do something very random and just see if she answers or not. It's always dangerous doing this. I don't know if she's watching. I haven't seen a name pop up to be watching, but we'll just see if she does come on. And if she does swear, I apologise. I should have my finger on the dump button ready to go. She's not going to answer.
Hi, I can't answer your call at the moment.
Unfortunately, she didn't answer us. Might give it a minute or two. But yeah, while I got some people on, your thoughts on the rest. What else have we got there? Oh, we've got the stay-in tender. Make sure people are aware of that. The stay-in tender for the South Australian Square Trotters Association. For further information, you can call Reg, Sharon or Gary. Their phone numbers are there, or you can go to the South Australian Trotters Association website, which I don't have. Not one of my great best tiles, this one, because I know you've got to go somewhere else to find it. Philip Wood was on before. Some pretty encouraging news from South Australia, actually, with the announcements that for the first time, there's been an increase, if you like, in the uptake of horses in South Australia, which is awesome news for South Australia, awesome news for harness racing. So there's actually more horses. I don't know what I've done with this. Some of my best work here towards the end of the show, but that's okay. If you want to get involved, please do. That's what On Loose Lines is all about. Rip and race on Saturday night, actually, at Melton too. Good to see so many good horses starting to filter back into the system. But there's a race here which might have some good stories to come out of it later on. And of course, It's a Westburn Grant Free For All, Act Now, Encipher, MacDan, Better Isolate, Rock and Roll Do, First Start Back. Hopefully, I was going to catch up with Mick Stanley tomorrow. That ain't going to happen. I could have rang Mickey, probably should have rang Mickey tonight. Better not do that to him and give him a hint. Ian Bucky and Better Eclipse returned in terrific form. Just Hope, Hurricane Harley, Sierra Tigers, First Emergency, Petulant. Then we have Pacifico Dream and Interest Free. Now, Pacifico Dream, there is some talk he may end up in New Zealand for the New Zealand Cup. So that would be super, super exciting if that was to happen. So good horses, better weather, bit of spring in the step, plenty of stuff happening. Of course, I caught up on talking trotters on for What the Hill on Monday night. And Aldebaran Zeus has returned, and he is very, very good. Good to see also Just Believe has actually returned to the track as well. So back, and he's back in work, and I believe he's going to go straight into work and get ready for the end of the season, because basically he's had his spell while he's been out there. I'm just going to try Alex one more time because I think it's a good story, Alex. Hopefully she's not shy and ignoring my phone call. She might be, but hopefully not. We'll just have to
Hi, I can't.
Nope, she's not going to answer. Rightio, that's a bit of a wrap for tonight's show. World Driving Championships, the standings. Tyrone and Bella, hello to you. Lower Long Farms, got all that. Those others there. Of course, I went through the stallions with Woodland Stud, with It's My Show, Denial, Son of Lather Up, doing a huge job. Roxana and John Dutton and Jet Hill, another very, very exciting horse as well, going there. You joining Lucy tomorrow night? Absolutely no chance. A true story. I drove out the back of Gurunong today. Everyone was saying about how cold it was, but I drove out the back of Gurunong today and it was -4, and that was at 7:30 this morning. Absolutely no chance at the minute. But love your confidence of getting me there, I must say, for that, Michelle. But don't think that it's going to be happening. It could be very, very frosty, that's for sure. Of course, caught up with Dave Watson in regards to some good announcements with the Trotters, as I said, if you didn't watch the Talking Trotters show. So $25,000 Arizona Blue towards the end of the season, plus the reintroduction for 75 up to 75 rated Trotters with the carousel to coincide with the carousel. So again, another good race incentive as well going forward. Not sure what time the Matildas start. I don't want to go head to head with them. This is on loose lines. It is actually meant to be pretty random, this show, so there's every chance we will call it a day. Hopefully this race, it did upload. Now Taylor Yole, I don't think Taylor was down as one of the drivers to have the colours on, so I don't think we have had a female driver win. We have actually might have had 2 female drivers win, did we? Yeah, we did, but yeah, haven't had a one. It was Stacey Towers. It was a beautiful day in Shep today. Just the morning was cold. I was in Kyabram, not that far, and I must say I ended up in the short sleeve shirt. But yeah, absolutely ripping day. But the cold frost with the clear air, and I think they're here for a few days. So Ringer Russ, Jan Murray, good little story there. Kev Murray, been in the industry for a long time, and does a terrific job going forward. So very cold. I'm going to just try her one more time. She's always wanted to come on loose lines, and she just will not pick up the phone for some reason. It's very frustrating. It'd be good if she did. So Matilda's no competition for you. Love your work, Stace.
Hi, I can't.
It's I'm just going to send her a message, and I'll read those couple of messages out. I'll just see what she says to this when I send her this message. She may not have me in my phone. That'd be pretty funny. Yeah, so Stacey Towers taking the mickey. Matilda's no competition for you, but do really appreciate it. Don't like the 1200 metre races. Mile races good, but most of our country cups, etc., over the 2,000 metres and further. So enjoy them more. Yep, totally agree with that, Jeffrey. But I did have a conversation today with a gentleman, and there's an audience for these sorts of things, and potentially this time of year, and maybe even a little bit earlier through the winter months, that people might be able to, target certain horses for these 1200 metre races and bring some, fast track racing in the depths of winter. Might be something that does work, because the TAB turnover on these races, now I can do this very, very crudely while we're going. Got a few people still chiming in. I know last week, and this is not exactly how it works, but when you get $10,000 and thereabouts on the pools for the races in the win pool, that is actually a pretty good sign that the betting has been okay. So 11,000 bet on race number 1 with Shady Dancer, so that's a good thing. Silver Spun won at 9,000, so we're still at a pass mark there, around that $10,000 mark. 8,500. This is sort of what happened last week as well. The first couple were really good, and then it did tend to drop away, but I would say they're still reasonably happy. And then 8-3 for that last race, and hopefully the pools can stay good, because whether you like them or not, the industry definitely needs them. And this is where it is interesting. You look at it here, the win pool in this race is only at $1,000. This is for 7:31 race, 15 minutes. There's still 15 minutes to go, and there's only 1,000. So this is how people bet on these races, and how it tends to, I suppose, come about, the betting on these races. But right as we speak, there's 1,400 in the win pool and $500 in the place pool. So hopefully they can get up to around the $10,000 with a few spirited bets going forward. I would imagine, looking at that, it says to me that Kate Gaff is driving in the colours. I'm just trying to see. I don't know. Alan Tormey drove in the other one. Steve Salter, Pog, how are you, mate? Steve Salter, he'll be able to tell me. Is the betting on these 1,200 metre races? I will stay on for a minute, because he will get to me how the betting on them has been okay, and go from there. Stacey Towers, I love that. That would be fun. I'd be up for that too. I'd get my licence back just for that. I don't think the OHS people would like it. But yeah, it'd be fun in these little American carts too, actually. See how fast we could go, but definitely would get some people there, and going forward. She's still not answering. She didn't even respond to me text message, Alex, so I'll just keep trying her. You never know. This is a bit of a first. I could ring Stacey Towers, don't worry about that. But hopefully Pog might have a little bit of a, if the betting turnover on these 1,200 metre races is holding up like it did last week.
Hi, I can't answer your call.
Alex doesn't want to answer my call there at all. I can always, I don't know if I've got Steve's phone number in here or not. I'm not sure how I talk to Stevie. Got a lot of Steves in here. Better put in a few more letters. No. Unless I got him down as Pog. Stacey's busy, and I don't have Pog's number in here at all by the looks. But if you are still on there, I just wouldn't mind knowing how the betting turnover is on these races. No, don't have his number. I've spoken probably a couple of times on the phone, but if it is still holding up like last week, because as I said, I'm not all for it, but the target horses that they've got for these, I think, probably fits a little bit better than the fast class horses, because they can come from everywhere. A couple of good stories like Jan Murray, Alex Hurley, Gary Lawler. They're not people that win week in, and Daniel Laird, they're not people that win week in, week out at Melton. So from that point of view, I think it's also another good story. Jackie Barker, Joshy Duggan, Greg Sugars, and Taylor Yole. So they probably definitely hit a mark at that going there. This race is more of a faster class horse race. They're up to 69. That's the next race. And then the last of the fast tracks back to that 50-55 rated race as well. So anyway, I think it's good, and I think well done for them guys. Stace, what's your thoughts on the Matilda colours? I think it's a good idea just to do something, whether it works or not. Stacey's got a couple of young kids. I don't know whether it necessarily means they want to watch the races to see how the colours go, but just to generally create a little bit of an attention to harness racing. I personally think it's a really cool idea, but the negative Nellies out there weren't that keen on it. So be it. That'll be fine. All right. Looks like that's a bit of a wrap for the show. Pog's tuned on and tuned out. Alex Hurley's not going to answer my phone call. She does have another horse in, but it's not for a little while. It's not until last, so unless she's gone home. Stace hasn't watched the race tonight, but I think we all get into that. Yeah, she's got Lucid in at 9:30, but yep. Anyway, she didn't want to answer. She might actually be on the phone to SEN or something like that, because I know they do an extensive coverage of the races as well. So, all right, go the Matildas. I think it's a cool idea, something different. 1200 metre races, again, something different, something a bit of fun. Thank you to everyone. Hang on a sec. Bob Knight years ago had his Gallops licence, had his first winner, was trained in the sulky. I do know that. Pools have been good again, Paul, on the TAB and the exchange, which is, I mean, that's all we can ask for. Thanks very much, Steve, for getting back to me. They look good, what I saw there, as I said, just on the limited knowledge that I have there, but the exchange is the one. So the exchange is Betfair, and I believe it probably brought a few new people into it because of, I suppose, the uncertainty initially of them. So, yep, I think you'll find they might be here to stay. It might end up being a fast track Tuesday or a Wednesday, something along those lines through the winter months. Whether they stay for the summer months, who knows? They might give some horses a new home. My worry was whether horses could back up. I can tell you now, Spun Silver, Shady Dancer, and Treacherous Rain all went around last week, so that has got to be a good one there. Matt Clayton, how poor the coverage and the updates on the World Drivers' Championships. Even in Queensland, they can't update anything or push the good things happening here, like Pete representing Australia, Nathan smashing records, and Leap to Fame, arguably the best horse around. Surely some of these good things would be pushed in media instead of the drama around the track at Albion Park, which will most likely become like Parklands all those years ago. Hopefully the track gets sorted out. I believe it's going to be sorted out. They won't be racing as much at Redcliffe, so that part is actually very, very good. And I look, Pete McMullen, we've got to celebrate him. I do know the Queenslanders got on the front foot there, but yeah, it's just a little bit frustrating. We can't find the fields, can't find the times. I do find that a little bit, and even just links to be able to watch the races live internationally, which would be awesome. I mean, we can't watch Australian races internationally, but because they put them on YouTube, you can watch them live. So, yeah, something very, very different. But no, thank you very much to everyone that's got involved. I think Queensland do a pretty good job, Matty. They do get the message out there. Leap to Fame is clearly the best horse going around. He's not racing this week or last week. And Nathan Dawson is we're only halfway through. So, yeah, we'll definitely get out there. Sometimes too, Matty, it can be the other side as well. It can be the connections of all the people trying to get in touch with that they may not want to promote it as much, so that can be an issue. We're going one more time. Before I hang up, we're just going to try one more time and see. She definitely knows it's me, so, but she's don't like my confidence. She might be superstitious. She could be anything. She's generally not shy, that's for sure.
Hi, I can't answer.
But she doesn't want to talk to me, so that's fine. All right, guys, thank you. Hopefully you have a good week in the harness. Didn't touch on any of the weans during the week from participants and that, but that's sort of what this show does. We go from one side to another. Who knows what it will be next week. Don't even know where the races are next week. As the weather starts to get better, start getting out and out a bit. No, I better not even suggest I do that. I know where the trots are next week. They're at Melton. Don't think I'll be allowed to do my show from Melton. Never know. Could always ask. Might ask. Might get some of the punters on. And, yeah. Who knows? Stay tuned. On Loose Lines, we might do it next week. I don't know what my dance card's got on. I'm just trying to see. So it's there. So, yep, definitely next Melton next week. Never know. Might be able to do the show live. Won't be able to show any races. But we might be able to do the show live from there and get some people and bring something very, very different. If the crew at HRV are watching, stay tuned for a phone call, and I'll just see how we go and there. Otherwise, we'll be back here, and in the week after, of course, we will be promoting it. The week after is at Ballarat, the 30th, and they don't have the 1200 metre races. It's actually size stakes night for the 4-year-olds, which is going to come around very, very quickly. Right, Breed to Succeed Sunday. I'll be recording it. I'll be there. We'll be seeing plenty of people. Mark Lee, Stacey Towers, we've got to catch up with you guys, give you your 5 bags of feed for the Barrostock Dash at some stage. I don't think that'll be Saturday or Sunday, but it might be. But yep, we'll get that message out there. Plus plenty more interviews. Stay tuned to Campbell's comments for the boys arriving and wait to see them. They look stunning, that's for sure. They've rocked up and looked like superstars, so which is really, really cool. And plenty more. Thank you very much for joining Campbell's comments and on Loose Lines, and we will see you all again next time.